Welcome to Flat Earth Debate, Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere, and there's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Also below this video you can get £50 for swapping your UK electricity supplier to Octopus Energy. Also, speaking of Patreon, I'm going to do a quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon. So a massive shout out of thanks and appreciation to Philip Simon, Will Brax, Melby Styles, Troy Shuker, Bose Nail, Joseph Pizarro, Samson, Maris, Mobile Mac 777, Neo the One, Lost Cat FE, Rob W, Open Minded, Reese Pound, Del West Watson, Mike, Muted, Dick Earth Skeptic, NA Literalist, Maria Neelands, Unbelievable Productions, Blue Ridge Ranger, Rob H, The Real Gabster, Wind Rider, Liam Nedrick Jr., Abraham Mohammed, Naibai, Adrian Quintana, Skeptic936, Life is Short, Fireball X, TheFlatEarthChannel.com, Texas Mike, Edwin Johnson, Kirsten Smith, and David Wayne Foster. So a massive thank you to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Now I'll hand over to whoever's in Discord and Google so you can enjoy their dulcet tones while I set up for today's live show.
And all that other stuff pertaining to
That's
Lite.
interesting.
I said some snide remarks too because Bob was saying the reason why he married Cammie was because she's so smart, but she sees things visual. And me, I forgot what he said. I like to find it. And I said, you haven't had one intelligent thought. But
Why are
of
you
course,
ad-homming
nothing
the
gets
guy?
through because I'm blocked.
Why are you ad-homming the guy? I don't get it.
I want to see if one of them get through because they got me blocked on the chat there.
Hey?
Well, actually, I sent it to his comments. Let me see if I can find what I said. I'll be back.
Okie dokie.
Good morning.
Hello.
Morning.
Morning.
Well, that went dead.
Yeah. I don't know. None of this makes any sense to me.
What?
Going into other people's chats if they don't want you there and you don't like what they've got to say.
Oh, I don't even know what's going on. So, yeah, that's just on the surface. Who cares?
Yeah, I'm not interested in ghosts, for example. But do I let it frustrate me that there's people out there trying to convince people they can talk to the dead? Yeah, there's a whole branch of people that go around debunking them, but I'm not one of them.
We do it every week with the ballers.
Again?
We do it every week with the ballers.
Hold on, Nathan, because we're flat earthers. I'm not interested in ghosts either. But when this guy's going to keep pushing nonsense, I'm going to keep sending stuff to him.
That's it, right all over my little joke I just did.
What was your joke?
My joke was we talked to the dead all week long.
Yeah, that's good.
That's a good one.
These people can't even add 2 and 2 up together.
I need to stop and listen. You're right, Ten. I need to relax and stop and listen.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I miss your good ones.
Hey, John, by the way.
Some of the one-liners from just the last 2 weeks. Are you sure you're alive?
Anyway, back to Bob Nodell. I check in here and there to see what he's saying. That's all. And I throw my little digs at him. I think he's a genius, the guy.
Sorry, Neil.
Yeah, I don't know if this is even worthwhile talking about.
Say with that, in that respect, it works both ways. So I've got about as much interested in going into the Globeheads channels to hear what they've got to say as I have going into flat earthers that have crazy ideas. More power to them, but it just doesn't interest me. It holds no interest for me on either side. Now, it does for you, fine. Far be it
Not
for me to
really.
criticize.
Just like breaking chops, that's all.
Work at a Chinese restaurant then.
Got to keep up to date what's going on.
Oh, you want to know what's going on? I'll tell you
Like
what's going
I
on.
just found out now that Ranty's turned to the globe.
Here, I'll tell you what's going on. Let's stop all the gossip. What's going on is the sextant proves the Earth is flat, and the black swan proves the globe is impossible.
I agree, 100%.
Well,
I
then
don't
it's
understand
over.
how people are going here and there and everywhere when you got that right in front of you.
It's a special word. Starts with a V. It's called a vertex. You got to have one of those in order to get an angle, and it needs two straight lines to form it. Can't work with a curve.
They don't have
Yet
one,
they're
do they?
able to. That
They don't have one.
no, they don't. And in order to have a sun or a star or a moon that's thousands of miles away from you, directly overhead at that spot on the Earth, which is noted and listed and documented in the Nautical Almanac, the precise hour, minute, and second over the Earth. Excuse me, if that's over the Earth, it's its geographical position, and you're shooting that from a couple of thousand miles away, that better be on a straight line or you ain't going to get an angle.
Case closed.
It's over. It's just the little tool, the sextant, just killed the globe.
Yep, it's amazing, really. When you pull apart some of the things that heliocentrists believe in, it's so far-fetched.
Yep.
Was I wrong to tell this guy in chat? He was telling me about Dollard and his claims about the sun. I said, but
I'll answer.
he still could only do what we all can do, and that's just make observations, correct? He can't really
I'll
verify
answer you.
anything.
I'll answer you. Because you questioned it, it's wrong to you.
No, I'm saying, can he
Do you
make
understand
claims
that?
if you're not really physically there? I mean, don't you still have to? You can only do what we all can do, and that's make observations, right? I'm talking about the sun.
Maybe I answered prematurely. Ask your question again.
I said there was a guy talking about some things that Dollard is claiming, and I said, like we can only observe. We can't really claim anything until you get there. You know what I'm trying to say? Otherwise, it's just observations.
It's like the wisdom of man. I think you're never going to know how the sun works. Well,
Yeah, that's my point, John. I agree.
I'm sorry.
I was just going to say it's also the reason that people create models to justify them saying they know how the sun works or how the earth works.
What was the claim about the sun? Can we hear the claim about the sun?
I gotta find it.
But definitely, it's outside the scientific method. Can't can't manipulate it. Can't go to it.
We don't even know what it is.
It's a light in the sky, and that's about it.
But Is it a perceived light in the sky? Is it,
Well, first of all, it wasn't even there when the first 3 days of creation. God was the light until he decided that he was going to put the sun, the moon, and stars inside the firmament. And I guess attach a light to it. Because there wasn't the sun with a light prior to that, but there was light and there was night and day. So it is something out of our realm.
Okay, he said it's a converter.
Dollard said it was a transducer.
And he also said, let me see.
It's a converter.
Well, no, I
Dollard
think Dollard,
verified the sun's effects on TV and radio signals.
Is that like a Tesla coil? Because I remember this guy Dan Dimension. He took some noble gases and he brought them near a Tesla coil, and it started exciting the gases in the tubes, and it started giving the same colors as like in the sky, as in the sky when we have like a sunset. How it came from like really bright to like more blue hue, and then I thought it was very interesting how it was able to replicate basically what we see in nature. He was able to replicate that with the Tesla coil and the noble gases. And I was like, wow, so he kind of replicated what we see in nature.
Did
So
he
that's a pretty
replicate
good
what we see in
correlation.
nature, or did he make some gases change color?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys all seen it. It used to be all over FE community. It was by Dan Dimension. It was called Let There Be Light. The video is called Let There Be Light.
Is it the one with a star in a jar?
Star in a jar.
Good, it's not. Excellent, perfect. It means I can make my comparison. So, by comparison, people have used this effect of solar luminescence inside, like, not mason jars, but like big flasks of liquid. And they can get them to vibrate at such a frequency that they create this light that looks just like a star. Now, when I first came to Flat Earth, the Christians were saying, this is proof that there's waters above us, and that's where the stars reside, because I can create a similar effect in this water. Go. Well,
right,
like,
but
go on.
But you said that effect that they show is because of people's optics or whatever like that are not focused correctly on the stars, so it doesn't really match reality after all, right?
Well, it looks like a star.
Right, but remember how people used to have all these out of focus star shots that kind of look like.
But I'm just saying, by comparison, you're saying, isn't it amazing that you can create the effect that we see in the sun in this burning gases?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, if I can say the same thing, but you're bracing against it when I do it, I mean, I'm not even postulating
Right, but
that it is.
Exactly.
I noticed this difference. Because you corrected us. Remember how flat earthers used to say the stars look like these weird, colorful shapes?
No, I
But
appreciate
in
that.
reality, you said that's because their lens is out of focus, and it's not supposed to look like that. Because I've seen that comparison too, but it was compared to the out of focus stars, not
Yeah,
like how
I
stars
agree.
really look like.
But star in a jar, they do actually look like stars. I'm not just saying that to be argumentative either. You know, at first
All
blush,
right.
you go, oh, that's interesting. It does look just like a star, and it must mean, because of correlation being causation, that's how they're created. Their own water and solar luminescence is there. That's the explanation, because I can do it here.
Right. I understand. So that's a good point you brought it up, because I did say it's a correlation, right? I was very clear.
No, I know
on
that. I agree.
Right.
And it is interesting.
And you kind of, right. And you further clarified it for the audience, so that's good.
And I agree with you as well. I'm not saying I disagree. Dollard's
Right.
stuff's very interesting.
It is.
All I'm saying is all he could do is make observations. That's all.
Did anybody observe that video that turned Ranty back into a Glober?
No, I don't even know about the video.
I don't, but plenty of people have been commenting on some of the threads that I'm in Skype. Do you want the broad strokes as I understand them?
If you go and look at the video, It doesn't look like they're using angular resolution at all.
No,
It looks like they're measuring everything just the size.
Yeah, feet and inches. Their trick will never change. To remove all aspects of angular size changes with distance, they ascribe feet and inches values that don't change with distance. So they're comparing the feet and inches value of a tower to the feet and inches value of a mountain that's considerably further away. So they just ascribe feet and inches and assume that Earth curve's the reason there's a certain amount of feet and inches missing, or why it's below. You know.
Yeah, but Ranty was around for that, Nathan. He knows.
Yep. Of course he knows. Yeah, Ranty knows.
He's a sellout. He's a sellout. Somebody offered him something. That's I can't figure anything else.
Don't speculate. Right, we don't know what motivation is.
That's true. I can't think of anything else. Why after 5 years? That's crazy.
That doesn't mean it's true. Look, I was with you. Hold on, stop. I was with you, right? Yeah, he already knows. I know that. I've sat next to him on a panel where he's argued it. So I know he knows. That much I can be certain of. But his motivation, you can't do that. You can't divine why. I see loads of people in the chat saying, well, he's run out of money. He needs more. Globe Earth's more profitable. That's why he's done it. It's like, why are you justifying his reasons and whys and wherefores? Who cares what motivates him? What's his reason? Well, because the feet and inches value of a mountain in the distance and a smaller angular size that is ignored has got a smaller feet and inches value. So check it out. Yeah, we debunk that. So do I give a crap what his motivation is? I can pull apart his argument, which is all that matters.
And there's the possibility this is a long-term troll, which will end up being funny. So I wouldn't jump on board too quick with people, you know.
Well, I didn't jump on board with anybody. I've been watching Ranty since he sold out and started fear-mongering last year. No,
it was intense. That was crazy with that fear-mongering. He went over the top with that. Come on.
And who got involved at the time? I mean, who was he involved with? See, whenever I start talking about names, man, I got attacked yesterday, called a shill, blah, 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 because I was saying some things, whatever. I've been watching this whole thing for over 5 years, and I've been seeing the people that are honest, and I've been seeing the people that are not exactly honest.
Okay, let's get your assessment. I went for this. Go on then. Who's honest? Obviously me.
You know what's funny? I didn't used to like you because you're
get out,
like
you
money
shill. Get out,
I mean,
shill, get out.
Everybody's like a money whore, you know. But I started watching you anyway, and I right on time for the Black Swan, and I got it immediately. And I thought, oh man, these people are just going to start saying Mirage, Fata Morgana. They're just going to start saying the horizon just could be lifted up. And that's exactly what they did. And they're still doing it. And everything tells them that they can't do it, but yet they still continue to do it.
Called Cogdis. Pain.
So, hold on.
This. No, it's
hold on.
These are Globers. These are Globe.
Who's the dishonest people then? I was just getting your assessment on honest and dishonest. We've only covered me, which isn't great. That was just a joke.
Yeah, keep going.
You're honest. I believe QE's honest. I believe just about all your people on your panel are honest. I've always questioned Paul, and then when Paul did this thing, I was like, oh my God, come on.
Bingo.
Didn't do anything.
Neither here nor there.
He didn't do anything.
Yes,
I know. It's just that he's always annoyed me because every time he turns on his mic, there's kids screaming.
I cheat that out.
You know what I mean? So I'm a little bit prejudiced there, I guess.
No,
and then when he pulled this, I was like, and then I stood up for him the other day, right over there in the after show. I said, look, he doesn't go out and he doesn't do things, and he said what he said. And so maybe he'll get out there and go down the shore, take a vacation. Well, I didn't say this, but I'm saying it now. Maybe he'll go down the shore, take a vacation, and take a camera with him and start documenting his own black swans. I don't know. I see a lot of stuff on the videos that I can't go see. There are things that I can go see, and there are things that I can't go see. But some of these videos are pretty compelling. Like, don't see any trickery.
So, what was it about the Black Swan that you liked immediately?
Wait, I'm still waiting to hear the dishonest guys.
Well, I had seen lots of pictures, where you're just seeing way too far. You're bringing boats back over the curve. The worst thing they could have done was start throwing us I mean, I think this is all done on purpose, but they started throwing us the great cameras to just zoom in and say, wait a minute.
See too far?
What you're telling us, what you're telling us is not exactly true here. And the Earth calculator, I had no idea. That threw me off so bad. I was like, oh my God, that's all it is? 8 inches per mile squared? And I thought, oh, the globe is dead. And this is going to cause a lot of trouble because they don't want the globe to be dead. They can't. There's too much invested at this point. 500 years. They turned 500 years into 2,500 years. They've multiplied it by 5, which didn't even exist. They're literally saying, it was commonplace to understand the globe.
Wait, can you verify that?
In 400 BC,
they say 500 years. But
I've seen these things in definitions.
I know they say it's 500 years, but I don't believe that.
I don't either.
No, it's been trying to be presented for 500 years.
So they say.
It took like 350
as
to
is
start actually
documented.
getting the word.
Hold on. Yeah, they say that, but I don't necessarily believe that to be true.
Yeah, they were still teaching flat Earth in schools in the early 1900s.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is they've been trying for 500 years. It took at least 350 years to start people talking about it. And then not even 100, 100 years ago, people were still talking about flat Earth. You saw it in TV shows and everything, man, in movies. It wasn't. You understand?
I think my OBS has crashed. Let's have a look. No, it's still working. Ah, okay. Well, it has crashed. Now it works.
So tense. I haven't watched it before.
Landings, everything changed.
You got that right. That's man. How do you pronounce Eratosthenes?
What's that?
How do you pronounce Eratosthenes?
I think you did as well as I could do it.
Just want you to say it. Just say it.
You've been say it.
Eratosthenes.
Yeah, see, no S. It's just Eratos, not Aristos.
Eratosthenes. It sounds like
Eratos.
Aristos instead of Aristos.
No Eris. No Eris. Eratos.
Eratosthenes.
Eratosthenes.
Okay, I was saying it wrong too.
When I first,
and I'm asking them to throw something to me.
Oh, that's good.
When I first heard that word, I couldn't get it right. I sat there and I was like, why am I blind to this word? I can't pronounce it. So I found this little thing that pronounced it for me. I don't know where I found it. They have these little things that will pronounce when you're looking for a pronunciation of the word. They literally say it to you.
Yeah,
Eratosthenes. I like it. When I'm playing ball next time, when the guy taking forever to throw the ball back, I'll say Eratosthenes.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Exactly. So if you write the word error and then toss the knees.
Very good.
We got another Pete here.
I like this guy. He's buckling up.
Not Pete.
I don't know. Pete good with those words.
You still haven't told us.
He can make anything mean anything.
You were very
He wants me to
diplomatic
tell
about it,
him
but
bad guys.
you managed to not
You
tell
want me to
us.
still...
Hold on. You managed to not tell us he was distrustworthy.
Yeah. You really want me to do that?
Only because it's the pre-show. I don't mind gossip and things like that. So no, I don't mind at all.
All right. Well, when I first got into flat Earth, it was because I had ignored it for 3.5 years and was kind of forced because it was just everywhere. So I started looking at it, and I literally made videos before I started looking into it. The Jesuits were behind this, and I didn't want to even deal with it. So then when I started watching the Gold Busters. I started watching Jeranism, a little bit of Math Parolin here and there, some Eric Dubay, and I was just going, oh boy, something's not. I mean, first of all, flat Earth. 10 minutes later, I was going, oh crap, the Earth is flat, you know. And then I started watching intensely and going outside and looking and just thinking, oh my God. I told my wife, she's like, oh no, not you too. And I'm like, she still don't buy it. This is 5.5 years later, she's still not buying it. And I hound her. But anyway. So I'm watching Gold Busters, and there ensues this feud between Morgile and Math Parolin. And so all this stuff comes flying. They're fighting dirty, man. The sex tapes are coming out, and this is coming out. And this is all instigated by Jeff Stewart. I know you know who Jeff Stewart is. And I was just thinking, you know, this is just a mess. This seems like they're throwing a lot of disinfo in here, and I don't know who to trust. So later down the road, I started seeing them presenting things that I was going, oh man, this doesn't fit. Why are you present? And then I think the crux was convex Earth. When they presented convex Earth, they were being warned by lots of people, including me. Of course, they didn't listen to me at all. I was pretty much block banned, shadow banned, you know, from them, all of them. Because I tried to ask them questions because I was wondering why they were doing certain things, and they just decided to ban me instead of answering. So anyway, and on. Talking about what the hell is his name? Bilbo. That little, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about, right? The convex Earth con. Or they were talking to a little alien in the bushes.
Oh, Belu.
Yeah. And so he brings it on. He has the show. He lets them all talk. And the next thing, you know, it was all crap. So what he had to do was come back out and apologize for the whole thing. So basically, him and Jaron came back out, and they just laughed it off. And then I noticed that they gained like 13,000 subscribers, and I'm thinking, what the hell just happened? So there's a lot of names, like they're Jesuit educated. First of all, Math Parolin, Jesuit educated. Jaron is Jesuit educated. I don't know about Bob. I'm not exactly sure about Eric Dubay, but how do you come up with bringing in the flat Earth, and the next thing you know, you're adding Hitler to the mix as a good guy? You think the world is going to accept either one of these things? Okay, it's hard enough to look at the flat Earth. Then you're going to present Hitler. And then, of course, Math Parolin had a problem with that, started calling Eric a Jew. And, you know, I mean, it's just insanity. So it seems like a lot of these people are there to make us look as stupid as possible.
I don't know.
So
I think people manage that by themselves.
You cut the end off.
You've got to remember that the roads that these people that you're describing kind of put on without realizing it are well-trodden roads that are invisible to the person walking along them. So, as an example, things like the azimuthal equidistant projection is the perfect example of this. You don't know when you come to the subject and you're presented with how the Earth may be. You don't realise that what you're actually being presented with is something that has taken an assumption of a zenith, an assumption of a tangent plane, then measured it flat, then transposed it onto a globe, then projected it onto a flat azimuthal equidistant projection. Now, if you're not aware of that very convoluted process, you just look at it and go, flat Earth map. And then you start talking about it, looking into it, telling people how it works and what it does better than the globe map, even though it is a globe map. Things like that. Well, those things are put in place to get people to go down these particular roads. There's certain stories attached to flat Earth that they want you to buy into as a flat earther. And as you start buying into them, you're normally buying into them from people who have also come across this subject, are perfectly legitimate people, not shills. And they're punting shill narratives. They don't even know it. Now, it took a long time for me to pick through all of that crap, but I was in the midst of it for the longest of time also. So some of the stuff, I'm sure if you went back far enough, you'd find some things that I said that I wouldn't agree with now. And it was because I was on a well-beaten path that I wasn't aware of. Now I am. Now I can point out those well-beaten paths in terms of flat earth narratives that we have basically been handed on a plate, so that they have certain aspects of the argument ready at the end of the process to debunk that particular narrative that you've walked towards without realizing it.
Right.
I'm just saying,
I was very careful with any kind of map. I noticed that the map of the UN, they started using that map, and I'm thinking, if you look at that map, it's wrapped with the Roman laurel. And see, anything you see that's wrapped with the Roman laurel, you must understand that Rome rules us. And they're literally displaying being ruled by Rome.
Yep.
And you can look at all the major, the WHO, the aviation. I mean, it's everywhere. It's medical. It's everywhere.
Indeed. Did you see my interview with Johnny Cerrucci?
No, I did not.
Check it out.
But I just was listening a little while ago, and somebody asked him about you, and he said I was on his show.
Yeah,
I just did hear that, and now I'm hearing it from you. Go ahead.
Very, very nice guy, and very willing to give up his exceptionally good research into exactly what we're talking about. How do we get to a position where we're on a spinning ball flying through a vacuum? And you've already detailed it, all roads lead to Rome, etc., etc. But he goes through it in a lot more detail. But yeah, he was a great guest, really good guest.
Yeah, he has a lot of good ideas. He's ex-military. He has a lot of good ideas. It seems like he's shadow banned. What I don't like is him calling his peeps flying monkeys. That just doesn't jive with me. But
Flying
the things he does say about the Jesuits and that he reveals about the Vatican are pretty much spot on. He talks about
flying monkeys is a term that's used in descriptions of the people who placate psychopaths. So the people who will run to the psychopath to triangulate with their victim, that's a flying monkey.
Wizard of Oz reference.
Say again, John? Sorry?
Yeah, it's a Wizard of Oz reference to the witch and her cohorts.
Yeah, the flying monkeys.
Indeed, but
that's how I took it.
Yeah, that's the origin. But I'm saying in modern times, that term is used to describe somebody who will triangulate between you and a psychopath. So your friend that you sit and confide in, that then immediately goes back to the psychopath and tells them all about it. That's a flying monkey.
Ah.
Follow me?
Okay.
Yeah, so basically,
I heard you that time.
So basically, a friend who swings both ways.
Yeah, but I'm not saying exclusively, but it's explicitly used in descriptions of how psychopaths triangulate with victims via.
How'd you miss my pun?
Because I'm concentrating on three things. I'm setting up for a live show, checking why my OBS keeps crashing or seeming to crash. It's not responding to buttons I press.
I'm having fun with you, Nathan. Flying monkey, swing both ways. Come on, man.
Yes, okay. Swing both ways. Brilliant. Boom, boom.
Oh. Welcome, excuse me, to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, how dare you, then be sure to subscribe,
Hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below this video. Also below this video you can get £50 for swapping your UK electricity supplier to Octopus Energy. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Now, we are joined by 10th Man, father of a stolen child, Arwin, Neil, and a whole bunch of people in... Oh, Brian's Logic. Did I miss anybody? No, I think that's it. And a whole bunch of people in Discord. So welcome, one and all.
Good morning.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, good morning.
Hello.
What's up?
What's up? My OBS is playing up, so I've got a slightly more limited control of the show today, but I'm sure it's okay as it's running and we're live. So happy days. Like a pilot. Once you get up in the air, everything's cushy. So once you're live, everything goes okay. Or you hope. That's normally where our crashes happen. But there we go. Let's move on with some housekeeping. Any evidence of axial rotation of the Earth-based variety?
No, absolutely not. Especially from pilots. No evidence.
That's why I brought it up first. Any evidence of a physical, geometric, sphere edge? That's a horizon formerly known as Earth curvature.
No, not at all.
No, definitely not one of those either. The horizon is apparent. It moves around with elevation and weather.
In fact, they'll explain to you why we don't experience that geometric horizon. So, yeah, no, we don't.
Well, on one day they'll explain why we don't see it, and on another day they'll tell you how it's blocking boats and buildings and show you an Earth curve calculator that says how it's physically getting in the way of stuff. Any scientific evidence of gravity?
None whatsoever. They can't even define it properly. They have to go into time and a dimension that doesn't exist because the old definition doesn't work. So they came up with a new one to where you takes you out of any testing or any kind of reality.
Any evidence of the distance
That's
to the sun? Oh, go ahead, Brian. Sorry.
I was just going to say on that, gravity, just before you go on, the gas, the gravity question. Well, gas repels in all directions, constantly repelling, absolutely zero attraction. And each one of those gas molecules or gas atoms are a single entity. So if they repel all the time, constantly, and they never have a singular downward vector, they never have a linear downward vector. Yet they still have a weight. So no evidence for gravity whatsoever.
Any evidence?
Yeah, I'd just also like to add. Sorry, I know you're trying to.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
But, if I had to choose, I mean, for those sensitive to the anti-gravitators out there or whatever you want to call it, like if I had to choose, I would like my gravity without begging the question of a sphere that's creating the force to, keep things on Earth, or begging the question of a giant magnets in the sky, causing these fields and causing the ordering of. I just want proof of this thing that everyone keeps saying instead of assuming how things work without any evidence.
Yeah, welcome to the club. We all do. That's precisely why we're asking. But I appreciate you reiterating that we'd like to actually have some evidence of the things that they claim to explain away the model that isn't the world we live in. It'd be nice to see some evidence of these things, and we don't get it.
Elijah, why do you think they need a sphere to go along with their gravity?
To keep us grounded.
So there's your answer.
I think what 10th Man is saying, Elijah, is but for the fact that they need gravity because they believe they're on a spinning ball that's not throwing them off, they wouldn't have gravity. So it's necessitated by their ball belief and their explanations for why their ball doesn't make sense. A bit like explaining away why we don't see a geometric horizon while simultaneously showing us how we are supposed to have a geometric horizon called Earth curve. You know, it's one of those cognitively painful things for anybody in this arena because they're exposed to these details and yet they retain their globe belief, which is their prerogative at the end of the day. So, any evidence, I'll try again. We'll see if we get it in. Distance to the sun. Oh no, sod it. Molten iron core at the centre of a self-perpetuating... There it is on screen.
No, again, they've got a sphere as their main belief. They need gravity in order for it to work. Then they got to go down and say there's something turning in the middle that causes this force of gravity. But then they change it and say it's not that. It's something in pseudo-Riemannian force space in the concept of time. So they don't know what they're saying anymore.
We will cover it now. Go on.
Molten iron core story came after the geometric horizon story. So they don't have one of those. So one is dependent on the other, like the molten iron core story is dependent on a geometric horizon story. So that's that, isn't it?
Again, as it's on screen, what about the distance to the sun?
Well, they need a geometric horizon for that also, as that's what is the calculation starts with that. So regardless of any claims I would make about distance to the sun, or I am or not making, I mean, their distance to the sun starts with a geometric horizon. So they don't have that geometric horizon, so their calculation is not but a calculation, there is no measurements. I know I keep on talking about this geometric horizon that's not there. And people might feel as if they're bored of hearing about the Black Swan argument. But what people have to realize is that is the end of the globe. You need
Brian,
to just accept it.
Brian, they're gonna come back at you with the one and all answer they have for everything: refraction. The molten iron core, refraction. The geometric horizon, refraction. Distance to the sun, refraction.
And the refraction that they are talking about is based on the R value that's based on the geometric horizon, and the geometric horizon doesn't exist. So that's the end of that. So that's that. Everything starts and ends with the geometric horizon. But flat earthers flat earthers are the most guilty of it because the globers just have to deny it, but the flat earthers have to realize that that is the end. And that's what's wrong.
So basically what you're saying, the only circle they got is their circular reasoning.
Sorry?
The only circle they go to is the circular reasoning, because they use 7/6R for their refraction.
Yeah, you need R, and that means geometric horizon, and that doesn't exist, so that's it. So Nathan, no evidence for distance to the sun.
Well, it leads me on nicely to any evidence of the R value, just so we can get that done and out of the way off the back of that.
Well, the R value would be based on the geometric horizon once again, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
you need to see Earth curve to have an R value.
Yeah, it's devastating.
What Earth curve?
Hey, chocolate.
That's the point. That's that thing that's supposed to block boats and buildings, as they told us forever, and now it's not.
Well, the thing about it is to actually measure anything with a triangulation, they would need a flat surface. So that's a bit of a problem from the start, isn't it? You know?
That's when they got local plane. They make a line that's just within an area of their eyesight and say, well, that's flat. We'll measure to that.
Yeah, but they're claiming they live on a consistently curving surface. So that's a bit of an issue.
That's a big issue.
Yes.
This was covered in the pre-show, so they need a straight line, and they can't acquire one. It's just as simple as that.
They use it, and then they transpose it to the center and say they're getting it from there.
Exactly. They presuppose a zenith to the center of a presupposed spherical Earth, and then take a datum reading for a presupposed spherical Earth based on their zenith, and say, well, I'm in England, therefore I'm pointing out 45 degrees or thereabouts. Well, no, you're not.
All along, yeah, and all along, the reading, the observation, the angle that they achieved using a sextant was done on the face of the Earth, not the surface of a sphere.
Any single viable hypothesis from any of the fields of astronomy, cosmology, or astrophysics?
No, and or can't be, because they can't manipulate their independent variable. They can only view phenomena.
Any evidence that you can have gas pressure without the necessary antecedent of a container to press upon?
I've never seen gas pressure demonstrated without a container.
Can you show me a closed container in nature, Nathan?
Yeah. A coconut, a walnut, an almond.
An orange.
I was
And
glad when
human
you
body.
made that little cutout of him saying it, because he said container and then he said system. So you caught him in a lie. Good job.
Yeah, you got to lie to be a baller. That's just how it
You
is.
flipped it?
Go on, Eli.
I'm sorry, you clipped it?
Yeah, I gave it the title. You give me a coconut and I'll give you a globe lie.
Nathan, I
Nice.
wanted to
gotta
ask
go
you about
listen to
another
that.
one you had about rumpus. You're interrupting me. I never heard it one time in that clip. What happened?
That clip just used thumbnail that I think Adam made, and I just happened to stick it on the most recent Rumpus upload. So I don't know which one it
Okay.
is. I'll have to have a look. I'll dig it out for you, Neil. It's if you scroll up in Ballbusters, or not Ballbusters, Master B, it is posted.
No, I did see it, but
So,
then I see the one you trimmed out saying you're interrupting me. So I listened to it, and he never said it. So I'm like, was Nathan confused here?
No, he wasn't confused. I heard him say it. There was one time he said, "You're interrupting."
Not in the one I watched.
Anyway,
So guys, I'm upset that I missed the molten iron core because it slips by so fast these days. But we have direct proof of the molten iron core.
oh yeah,
Oh shit! Let me go get a coffee.
Yeah, it says it in the title of this article right here from Newsweek.com. Scientists finally have direct proof that the Earth's core is solid.
okay. And
Yep.
what's their direct proof that it exists in the first place?
Well, let's see
Not
here.
molten then.
Oh,
So they
wait a
keep it
minute.
solid.
Seems like at the bottom of the article, they actually say that many scientists in the field remain skeptical because it isn't direct proof. My bad. Sorry, y'all.
Oh, that's a shame. I was chocolate.
Damn, man.
Did you go too
Let me go
soon for your
throw away
coffee?
my coffee.
Yeah, bummer.
Eli,
Right,
get
Now,
out.
see, if they would have changed it to solid, it would have made sense, and I would have understood it better. Because
See that?
the
Look. Right here, they say there have been several attempts before us, and a number of papers have claimed that they observed PKJKP waves in the seismic wave field, Tchaikovsky said. However, a recent study showed that these results were likely the observations of scattered energy, and thus the scientific community stayed divided and generally unconvinced. This work hopefully concludes a quest for the Holy Grail and provides desired constraints on inner core solidity.
Oh yeah.
So they know nothing.
Notice how they make it once removed, so it's not that they're looking at evidence for there being a molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth. They're merely looking to confirm that it's solid. The assumption being that it's obviously there, but whether or not it's solid, we need to confirm that bit. Just that little detail on top of our presupposition. Anyway, quick shout out to Mario Knows It's Flat. Shout out to the agent provocateur, Decepticon, always been a globe, Ranty. Indeed, thank you very much for the super chat.
They need that core to be solid so it can understandably be magnetic. They blew it when they said it was molten, and everybody started realizing molten steel is not magnetic. That's a proven fact by every single person who, what's that called now?
Plays with
God.
magnets.
The forge, right? When they forge the steel, they use a magnet to see if it's ready to start beating on. Yep.
Blacksmiths.
Metallurgist.
Yeah, see if it's beyond the Curie point.
Yeah.
Yes, so they need to alter their narrative, and like any made-up story, you can just change it, right? No, it just changed their mind. Not molten, actually solid. Just need to go about proving that. Because obviously it's still a core, and it's still a sphere, and it's still at the centre of it, and it's probably been deposited by a planet called Thea. All of that still stands, but whether or not it's solid, we need a little bit more investigation on that. The rest of our presuppositions, they obviously stand anyway.
Well, they got a fifth layer to it too now. They got another layer. That happened, I guess, before Elijah just read that. They found a fifth layer a few weeks ago.
Oh, how joyful. Got David Reed in the chat saying, "No, Ranty, the globe's a fantasy." And then he says, "Ranty said what? Ranty must have been joking, lol." No, it's not, from what I can glean. He's taken an age-old 2017/16 argument that revolved around a begging the question, proof of nothing, perspective hijacking Earth curve calculator that would ascribe feet and inches values to targets so that they don't change with distance. So it's back to the old Father Ted and Dougal routine. My God, I never thought it would come to this with Ranty. This cow is small. That cow is far away. So what does the Glober reply? How can this 2-inch toy cow obscure your view of the big cow? The big cow's bigger. Yeah, this cow is small. That cow is far away. Hashtag shit shrinks.
I was just going to ask, can you give us an example?
Yeah.
It's shocking stuff.
Yeah, just
I literally used that meme yesterday when arguing the point. That shit shrinks meme. I literally used that. And I got all kinds of.
You use the cow meme, you really milk it.
I'll give my example now because, you know, this assertion goes on and on and on. And I might as well give my brick example. So if you take a brick and you put it on the horizon at 1 mile, and let's just say for this example, it's an 8-inch brick. You can say, for the sake of this argument, that you can just see it with the naked eye. You can see the brick on the horizon at 1 mile. You can just make it out. Now you take the exact same brick and move it out another mile. 2 miles. You can't see the brick anymore. It is too small to see. The angular resolution has become too limited. Now the brick is still 8 inches, but yet it's disappeared from view at a couple of miles. That exact same brick can then have a skyscraper built on top of it. And lo and behold, the angular resolution of the skyscraper is wide enough for you to see it at 2 miles. But the brick at the bottom has still got the exact same angular limitation that it had when it didn't have a skyscraper on top of it. Ergo, the skyscraper has disappeared from view, according to their maths, at 8 inches. Now, in reality, 8 inches won't change with distance. So when they say 8 inches is obscured, they will ascribe an Earth curve obstruction to the reasoning behind that effect. In reality, the angular limitation becomes so acute that you cannot see the brick, and if you increase the angular size of that item by building on top of it, it doesn't alter the angle against the deck. That is where the most limited angle is. In the sky, there's nothing limiting the angle of view. Against the ground limits it, meaning the further things away, the more limited the angle, until it disappears completely. Ergo, bottom-up obstruction is very easy to demonstrate. Check out my video called Angle of Attack if you want to see making things disappear from bottom up, by simply lowering your camera, reducing the angle against the floor. So you can easily demonstrate this effect. However, to exclude the effect easily demonstrated, called perspective, you simply call it earth curve obstruction and ascribe feet and inches instead of angular sizes.
So in that video, I believe, what's his name? Conspiracy Cats, right? He was saying, the way he was setting up this little demonstration of a diagram, that I'm favoring the flat earth in this diagram. And as I was watching him do it without using any type of angular resolution whatsoever, I'm thinking, am I imagining this, or is he really doing this completely wrong and saying it's in favor of flat earth? And I'm pretty sure if anybody goes and watches the first 10 or 15 minutes, I think it was, you're going to see the same thing. And you're going to say, wait a minute, Ranty, really?
Could I share my screen on this topic?
Did I miss something? What happened with Ranty?
Ranty's a glober now.
Say that again?
Ranty is a glober now. Ranty went back to the globe.
It's a disease that's spreading fast. It affected Paul.
Ranty. Ranty flat earth went back to the globe.
Neil, stop saying that. That's not true.
Flopping around like flounder.
Well, you heard wrong.
He said it right there. He said, I haven't given up on flat earth. Are you kidding me, Tent? Stop letting your Christianity brother bias cloud your vision.
No, first of all, that's uncalled for. Second, all he addressed was the refraction argument. He still believes you can't have gas pressure without a container. He believes all. He doesn't believe we're on a globe.
Oh, okay. Whatever you say.
You?
I haven't given up on flat earth. That's not a flat earth claim to me.
Forget it.
Can I share my screen?
First thing I heard him say, Neil.
Well, who
First
started
thing I heard
this
him
group
say.
event? Because I was in gyms and they were all talking about how Ranty leaving the flat earth is a fatal blow to our side.
Exactly.
And I was
my
like,
point.
I'm wondering where this is coming from.
Nathan,
You guys switching back and forth about who we're talking
what
about.
does he have? An observation or a measurement of Earth curvature? Like, what does he got?
Are you talking about Ranty now?
Hold on,
They've
go
got
on,
photo
Mel.
chocolate.
Hold on, everyone else. Go ahead, Mel.
I was just gonna, Conspiracy Cats, Ruhif, and Ranty have got an observation in Blackpool. It's a photo from a photographer, and Ranty, is putting it forward as evidence of Earth curve and obstruction and all that good stuff.
Right, there are two photos.
Can I share my screen, Nathan, and put an end to the not that it needs to be, but just to show exactly what's going on with that photograph?
Yeah, go ahead. Is this talking about angular size reduction at distance, presumably?
Yeah, well, that's obviously the main part of it. But there's an extra part in there that they conveniently avoided. And even when I shared it with Ranty, he didn't want to know. So I've shared this with a bunch of different people in the past couple of days, and I'm getting bad feedback from the ballers. So 1 second now.
Okay. Well, I won't ask you to clarify what you mean by bad feedback yet, but if you get your screen presented, we'll stick it up and I'll ask him.
Yeah, no. What I mean by bad feedback is that they're not happy about it.
Yeah, no, I kind of gleamed that.
Yeah. 1 second now. Okay, I should be sharing there now. Any minute. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yeah, you're up.
Okay, right. So it's exactly the same situation as this. where you have a photographer looking at mountains in the distance, and in between the photographer and the mountains, it doesn't have to be mountains, it could be anything. You have another piece of land or whatever. Now, the photographer in this photograph was at 150 foot high. Los Angeles here in his direct eye line is 250 foot high. Now, that means that, and the mountains are 123 miles away. Now, that means that what's happening is his angle to the mountains, especially at a distance, changes due to the fact that he can't actually see over Los Angeles. Now, the same exact thing, I don't have the photograph that Randy and them were pointing, but it's exactly the same thing, where they are looking at mountains, but in between those mountains, there is Blackpool. And the land, and Blackpool Hill, obviously, but the land that's directly in front of them is higher than the observer's height. So consequently, what's happening is this effect. It's called photographic occultation, sometimes called visual occultation. So I'm just going to show it here. This is what happens. I had a plant on here, so don't. It's not dark. Just to let you know. So this is what happens. I'm going to show you. When you have a small object in the front, in your foreground, but that object is higher than you, and you have a bigger object behind it. This is what happens. I'm just going to take another 10 seconds. I'm going to move this little pepper. As you can see, it's occulted. Bring this back in. I could have done this if I had a table to use twice or three times as long. I could have done it that way, and it wouldn't matter how long the thing was. I can always make the higher than my camera height, so let's say pepper here, occult the higher, the bigger and higher than it, T-jar. That's all it is. It's a well-known effect. And that's all that's happening in that photograph. Ranty didn't want to know about it. The ballers don't want to know about it. But that's all that's happening. But it's back to, no, we don't want to see. That's what it's about. So that's the end of that. Thank you.
Why didn't you use the picture they used? That would have been good. Does anybody have that picture?
Yeah, I don't have it. If someone could send it to me, I'll use it. I don't have it. We can see it. It's the same
Guess what they're
thing.
calling it? Guess what they're calling it, Nathan?
They're calling it a black swan.
The white swan.
White swan, right.
What a bunch of idiots.
Again, does the existence of a white swan negate the existence of a black one?
No.
Thanks.
It was Bev that called it white swan, because Bev went out and got the same observation from there, and anyone that goes to that same camera and same place will get the same observation if they can see the mountains, because they're going to see the same thing. Bev got the same thing. He said it's just a white swan. He said it's just the same as any other photograph. There's nothing special about it. But that's why they're calling it the white swan. Because obviously a lot of them don't even understand what we use the analogy, the black swan analogy. It's only just that. It's photographic occultation.
And they think calling something a white swan is a refutation somehow?
Yeah.
I don't know. What? I don't know what's going on.
So because this horizon appears to be Earth curve, the horizon that can't be Earth curve doesn't matter? Is that what they're saying?
I don't know. Do we all of a sudden see the geometric horizon? Did Ranty bring that back from the dead? Like, what the fuck is going on here?
No, that's one of the things I said to him. I said, you're going to have to start believing in the geometric horizon again.
Oh. So the location where ships and buildings and shit disappear, that became physical again? Was that what happened in the day that I wasn't here?
Yeah, he just saw a photograph, just like the one we just saw.
If we also make a black swan argument for flat Earth, like if the Earth is flat, the horizon will always rise up to eye level. If the horizon doesn't rise up to eye level, the Earth is not flat.
That's incorrect. That's incorrect. The horizon, the original claim is that it always appears to rise. It's not that it does. It always appears. Not that it actually does. It can't. If you're above the water surface, 6 foot above the water surface, you're 6 foot higher than the horizon point.
Yeah,
this
due
is
to
a red
perspective,
herring
it
argument.
appears to rise to eye level.
It's a red herring argument anyway. It doesn't prove anything.
Appears.
So it's a
That's
big black
because
swan.
the horizon's apparent, right?
Speaking of
So it's not
appears,
actually doing that.
speaking of the word appear that you use, it appears that the horizon, the physical Earth curve, no longer blocks the bottoms of boats and buildings.
As told to us by the
Well,
tourists themselves.
well,
so
well,
have fun
Neil.
with that.
I mean,
So that question was directed to the guy who came in.
Can you repeat it?
Yes, it appears that the geometric horizon is supposed to block the bottoms of boats and buildings, but it does not.
Boats still disappear because of the curvature of the Earth. But we have an apparent horizon. This is why the distance shifts or changes.
Excuse me. When the horizon in the Black Swan picture, when you finally understand the modus tollens put forth, we're taking your argument that the Earth curves, and we're saying if what you say is true, guess what has to happen no further than 1.22 miles? Earth curve has to start at 1.2. Hang on. Earth curve has to start at no further than 1.22 miles from a 1 foot observer height on your globe, and that's using geometry. There's no going around this. You're held in by the math itself. So when you see the horizon well over 10, let me finish. When you see the horizon, which is Earth curve, in your model, appear over 10 miles out, and it should be no further than 1.22, it's over. Why don't you just see it?
So first of all, that's a strawman because we do not claim that we see the geometric horizon. We see the apparent one, and that's why the black swan is absolutely BS.
Excuse me. You claim Earth curve, do you not?
Yes, but we do not claim that we see the geometric horizon. So black swan.
Hang on. Is Earth curve caused by something physical or by something that happens, say, with refraction?
Earth curvature is physical, but the effect of ships disappearing bottom up is just an effect of that curving a bit.
So Earth curve has to be physical. Do I have you saying that?
Yes, but we do not see the physical Earth curve.
I don't. No, just yes. Yes, without a follow-up.
That makes no sense what he just said.
Hang on. So is Earth curve physical? Yes or no?
The Earth curves, yes.
Okay, so if Earth curve is physical, and you're at a 1 foot observer height, where does this Earth curve must start? Where must this start?
Like the effect of ships disappearing bottom up, for example. What
curve,
you said
the
was
physical
right.
curve of the Earth will block
distance.
at the ship
Just
at
one at
what
a time.
point?
Hold on. Who was first? Who was going first?
Just
Samurai, go ahead. Just 10th. Just let him get to the end.
He's talking. I'm not talking. I want him to finish his point.
Okay. Earth curve, you admit it, is physical and it blocks the bottoms of boats and buildings, correct?
Yeah, in some way. It has to be effective.
Yes or no?
In some way.
Yes, ships are disappearing bottom up because you can see further because of the curvature.
No. Oh, thank you. And Earth curve is physical, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So if Earth curve is physical, at a 1 foot observer height, where must the bottom of ships start disappearing? At how far out?
I don't know the exact distance, but you said it. I guess it's accurate.
Up 1.23 miles, basically. Almost 1.23 miles. Would you agree with that, based on geometry?
Correct.
Okay, so that's correct.
In geometry,
and Earth curve is physical. Let's just round it off. Earth curve is physical. It is what blocks the bottoms of ships and buildings. And at a 1 foot observer height, it can be no further than 1.23 miles, correct?
If we do not add any other variables, yes.
No problem. Correct, though?
Yes. With these variables, yeah.
Okay, hang on. Before we go to variables, I just want to make sure that you don't backtrack. Earth curve is physical. You said yes. At a 1 foot observer height, you said it can be no further than 1.23 miles. You said yes. Now let's go to the Black Swan picture. Where is the horizon in the Black Swan picture when the last oil platform was 9.41 miles? Where's the horizon? In front of that one or behind that 9.41 mile oil platform?
Behind that.
Okay, bye-bye globe. Because Earth curve is the horizon.
No, exactly.
In your model, Earth curve is
the horizon is...
that's
why I said
your model, Earth curve is
the
the
effect
horizon.
of it. But the horizon is where the sky appears to meet the ground, and we have multiple horizons and everything, like mountains,
No,
for
we only
example,
have
can
one
also be a horizon.
Show me two horizons, please.
Of course, you can. Let's say you're standing at the beach, and at the right side there are mountains, and there is one horizon, and then we have a second horizon, which is the sea, the ocean, and the sky. And the second horizon would be the mountains and the sky. Two horizons.
So you're going to call the right side of my view on an ocean of mountains the horizon, and you're going to call what's directly in front of me, where the sky seems to meet the ocean, a horizon, and that's how you get your two horizons. Is that what you're saying?
Ed.
These two horizons are different distances. So correct.
We're not talking about
distances. Didn't he say that we couldn't see the geometric horizon before?
Yeah, he did, and all horizons are apparent anyway.
So, if we don't see the geometric horizon, what two horizons are you talking about, man?
Yeah, I told him that at the beginning that we do not see the geometric horizon,
right,
and I agreed with his statements. We do not take any other variables into account because the atmosphere or light bending is an other variable.
No, that's
and
based
if you
on
add this variable, this argument is a Stroman fallacy.
Sam, that's based on an assumption of an R value in the first instance, though.
First of all, the variable light bending is not an assumption of the R value.
Your light bending.
Light will bend.
No, the assumption that light will bend isn't a globe assumption. That's called refraction. Refraction's real. But when you're talking about it in the context of your side profile second horizon that we don't see, therefore isn't a horizon anymore, well, in that context, your light bending is 7/6 of a radius value that you can't get if you haven't got a geometric horizon. Therein ends your argument.
No, my full argument was that this Stroman is not valid because we take other variables.
Hold on, Chocolate.
Can I finish?
Hold on.
Sorry, okay.
So, basically, in his argument, there were a few variables: the R value and a few other, the height, and he did not account for the atmosphere, which is a pretty big variable in this case, and pretty important one.
Sorry, you just seem to have ignored what I've
said. This
stated.
argument
you just ignored me, Sam. Should I repeat it? What do you want me to do at this stage?
If you want to repeat it.
Why didn't you acknowledge it the first time and just repeat what you've said, in spite of the fact that I've provided you with a rebuttal? Why have you ignored it?
Thought I explained it right now.
Sorry, don't mumble.
Did you?
Maybe
I've given you the rebuttal. Please repeat my rebuttal back to me, so that I don't, feel that you've just ignored it because maybe you didn't hear it. Can you repeat it back to me?
I understood it. I answered the question right now. Maybe I understood it wrong. Could you tell me again?
No problem. You described an orthographic representation with the horizon on the right-hand side and the target as the horizon. You on the left and it being a single point. You've also detailed that horizon, in that description, in those maths, does not exist. Now, when you bend light in that mathematics, you're bending it at a rate of r. In standard form, it's 7/6 of the radius. It's called terrestrial refraction. That's your r value that is acquired from a geometric horizon. So you've got a paradox. You can't move the horizon with a refraction based on r if you're moving your r because the horizon's based on it.
First of all, there are days on which the refraction is minimal, and you can also see that. And on these days, measurements are more accurate. And on these days, it's optimal to do these R measurements. And
so your radius is based on how nice of a day it is. Is that what you're telling us?
We're trying to control the variable as much as possible.
Go ahead, Sam. Trying to control the variables.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll just wait for a better day, like when the temperatures are optimal and we have minimal refraction.
I see. So to acquire the geometric horizon, you've got to get a good day. You told us about 7 minutes ago that the geometric horizon doesn't exist.
We can't see it.
So
there's always
who cares?
a small difference.
We can't see it. So who cares how good the day is?
Because on good days, it is pretty close to the geometric horizon, but we will never see the geometric horizon because we have
Stop! Sorry, you can't be close to something that doesn't exist. That's nonsense.
I said we can see it. It exists, but we cannot see it.
Sorry, we can see it. It exists, but we can't see it. Do you understand what double-speak contradiction is? In the same breath...
You see atoms?
In the same breath, you've just told me we can see it, but we cannot see it. Now, that is literally the most glaring contradiction you could display here.
Maybe I said it wrong.
No shit. Yeah, it's called cognitive dissonance. You need a geometric horizon to be visible, and you're telling me it's not. But when it needs to be on a clear day, it's going to be. And when I say, no, you've told us it's not, you say it's very close to something that doesn't exist. It's called cognitive dissonance. You need a geometric horizon for your globe belief, but you haven't got one. We've debunked it.
That's absolutely wrong. First of all, that's not how debunking works.
Oh, right. We're going to discuss how debunking things works, as opposed to the fact that your geometric Earth curve requires an R value acquired from said Earth curve, which you've told us doesn't exist.
No, I told you the geometric horizon
doesn't exist. Yeah, you made it explicitly clear it doesn't exist. Then you've given us a double-speak rhetoric about it not being visible but being visible. You said it didn't exist. We know it doesn't exist. A horizon that's seen side-on as a marked X isn't a horizon. It only exists in the maths. It's not real. Therefore, when you say on a clear day, it comes close to something that doesn't exist and can't be seen, that's nonsense cognitive dissonance, mate.
Nathan, you're not saying what I'm saying. I'm saying different stuff. I'm saying it exists.
But we can't see it and it doesn't exist. Yeah, I know. You've got a contradiction. You say it exists now, even though about 10 minutes ago it didn't exist.
I always said it exists, but we cannot see it.
Well, then it doesn't exist. It's not a horizon.
Wrong. Okay. Do you see electrons?
Why are you asking me, right? A horizon is a Who's rumpusing the crap out of me from G+? A horizon is the demarcation point between the land or sea and sky. It's a visible location, something that you see. So if we don't see it, it's not a horizon, my friend. It's not close to a horizon. It's not a horizon, because a horizon's something you see.
First of all, the geometric horizon, we don't
see that. That's not a horizon. Don't call it a horizon. We don't see it. It's not a horizon. I've just made that clear, so don't start detailing. The geometric horizon, that isn't a thing. It's not a horizon. Acknowledge that it's not a horizon, mate. Because it's not. We don't see it. It doesn't exist.
We have an atmosphere, but...
Sorry, not atmosphere. We don't see a geometric horizon. I've covered atmosphere. 7/6R isn't applicable if you haven't got a geometric horizon to get R. I've covered this, you circle-jerking fundy. Laugh it up. That's right, cognitive pain ensues when you need R by way of geometric horizon and you haven't got one and have told us it doesn't exist. Bye-bye, Earth
I can't
curve.
go anywhere.
Bye-bye, Earth curve. Bye-bye, globe Earth. Based on geometric horizon. You haven't got one and told us it doesn't exist. Bye-bye, globe, Samurai. Share your cognitive pain.
Samurai, if it's a foggy day, you can't see far. The Black Swan picture, we're seeing well over 10 miles out. How clear of a day does it have to be for you?
It has to be such a day that the refractive conditions
Black
are
Swan?
minimal. And the Black Swan.
So you're going to go on about refraction again. You're ignoring me, Sam. It seems like when I talk and give you a rebuttal that takes apart your refraction, which is based on our needing a geometric horizon, you just go on to detail refractive effects after me debunking them. Why is it that every word I say gets ignored, Sam? What's going on? For your refraction.
If the
Debunked, you need for
yes.
your refraction. Needing geometric horizon. Do I need to say it slower, Sam, or will you just ignore it and go on to tell me about how refractive effects are going to answer the 10th man's question?
Light bends even on a flat Earth. It doesn't matter.
Refraction isn't terrestrial refraction on a globe. That's you ignoring me again and talking about refraction. That's real. I clarified that. Yes, refraction's real. Light bends. Terrestrial refraction's based on R, and that's where you've got your second horizon that's geometric that doesn't exist. So when you talk about refraction, it's not about refraction. It's terrestrial refraction based on R. That's the 4th time, Sam. I know you've got to ignore this because it takes apart your argument.
I don't care about refraction. Oh,
well, you're going on about refraction quite a lot, but you don't care about it now taken apart that yours needs are. Yeah, I bet you don't care about it anymore because yours needs are and you haven't got one. Tell me you don't care about refraction when you've just tried to detail it and I've stopped you because I've already debunked it and you've just ignored me. Yeah, you do care about refraction. You're refracting the horizon, mate. But you need an R to do it and you haven't got one. 5th time.
And if refraction, if you can't see the geometric horizon, refraction is always in play, no matter what. Right?
Yeah, standard. Always refracted on a globe. Never a time that it's not. And according to him, geometric horizon doesn't exist anyway. So why you would assume that you can get close to something? Well, because I'm going to use R, based on the geometric horizon, to tell you how it would be close to something that doesn't exist. My God, it must be so mentally painful to be a glober.
Well, and one other thing, Nathan, if it's not in its position, like which it should always be closer, right? If it's showing further away, then downward refraction was always in play. Always. Every single time. It would have to be, you would think.
I'm just confused as to why he's telling us the geometric horizon doesn't exist, can't see it, when his side defines it as the visible demarcation between Earth and sky. It's a little weird, right? Samurai?
That wrong. Damn it.
We wouldn't expect to see.
First of all, it doesn't mean it's not real. If you can't see it, it can exist.
Samurai, your side tells us that ships
understand.
disappear over this geometric horizon, but you're telling us that we've never seen it, can't see it. So we can't see the
First
place
of all,
where ships
your first
disappear
point,
over the...
if you can't see something, it can exist. If you can't see something, it doesn't mean that it's not real. Can you see electrons? No, you can't see them. Do electrons exist? Yes.
Samurai, when you say something that is defined as something that is visible is not visible, you're declaring it doesn't exist. So, welcome to Flat Earth.
You're claiming the geometric horizon is visible? Can I get one citation for that? I would like to see it.
Sam, have you got a globe in your room?
Somewhere.
You don't
Have you got a globe in your room?
Guys, you've got to let Sam respond.
We don't need 10
guys.
people talking through it.
Yeah, you've got to let him respond.
Oh, sorry.
I said yes.
I was just going to say, can you push it on the ground?
Push it on the ground. It's staying on the ground.
Just push it off your desk and watch it smash on the ground.
It will fall down. And Well, exactly. What's your point?
I think the point is, although I didn't probably hear it, the point is if something was real, then it would be apparently obvious. You would be able to see it. You would be able to go to it. You'd be able to measure it. But there isn't, you can't measure something you can't see. And your whole model is based on the seeing and measuring of this particular geometric horizon. So if you can never see it, it could never be measured to. That means you're working off of calculated belief and not reality. In reality, the horizon changes with wider and elevation. It never stays in the one spot for any long length of time. It's not a physical location, it's a visual location only.
Okay, so, can I read him something real quick? Samurai.
Wait, can I respond to that first?
Samurai, are you listening? Are you
he hasn't acknowledged it. That's why he's hesitant.
National Geographic.
He's hesitant because he's not acknowledging what you're saying, Chocolate, and now I'm interrupting you. I'm really sorry. But yeah, he wants to move on.
That's all right.
He's not acknowledging you.
Oh, no, we're not moving on. He just asked me. He just asked me for one citation that says that the geometric horizon is visible. I got one for you, coming from your own side. Are you listening, Samurai? National Geographic, Earth, Sky, Horizons. The local horizon, also called the geometrical horizon, is the visible boundary between Earth and sky. Citation done.
It's called Earth Curve.
Still for a second, I would like to read through it.
Sam, it's called Earth Curve. It's claimed to block boats and buildings. Amazing here in a debate you deny the very premise of your religious belief in a sphere Earth and its horizon called Earth Curve blocking boats and buildings. That's the premise of your religion, mate. I know that when you get here and we've debunked R and we've debunked geometric horizons and Earth Curve edge horizons, you've got to deny that you need them. But you do. It's what you think the Earth is.
Hmm.
You're not going to share your pain, Sam?
Yeah, I'm waiting for a
nothing
response.
to add.
What happened?
Wait, could you post the citation from National Geographics?
What you need proof that you claim Earth curve edges the horizon? You're kidding me, right? You need us to prove that you think the horizon's getting in the way of stuff at a feet and inches value. You joking? You want us to cite that you think the horizon's Earth curve? Is that what you want? We need to send it you after reading it to you because you're shocked that Globers believe the horizon's an Earth curve edge. Oh, wow, that's an amazing thing to have declared. I think the flat earthers should back up that you clowns think that the horizon's Earth curve. You do, Sam. What kind of Dumbo are you? That's your belief in its most base form. We've just debunked it though, haven't we, mate? So now you've got to deny it. And we've got a site that you claim the horizon's Earth curve for you. Yeah, that's what it comes down to. You're so shocked and shaken that you think the horizon's Earth curve. Yet you'll tell us that a geometric horizon is both visible and not visible with your cognitive pain on show for a few hundred people to watch, right? Pathetic. Globe belief's painful. Yeah, get that citation to him. He's shocked, Chocolate, that the horizon is believed to be Earth curve by globe believers. Shocked because we've debunked it.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. Tell us that nobody claims the horizon is Earth curve, because that's how Tim reacted when we pointed out that we debunked Earth curve edge horizons and radius values based thereon. He told us that nobody claims the horizon's Earth curve. That's how much cognitive pain Tim Osman was in. You have given him, literally, you've topped Tim Osman by saying the geometric horizon is visible, but we cannot see it. In the same breath, you've managed to top Tim Osman, Samurai, with your cognitive
I was
dissonance.
just going to say that. Tops them.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
the ballers want the Earth to be a ball. They just don't want the consequences of it being a ball.
I have no idea what you're even talking
about. I'm confused at something. When he asked that, when he told me to cite that, like, did he not think that that was possible? Did he think that that's not a claim of the globe, that the geometric horizon is actually visible? Did he think we just started doing this yesterday? Sam, you still there, Samurai?
He's in pain, man. Just let him have his pain.
Oh, okay.
Nathan,
Go get a
if I
big key.
Nathan, if I may, let me read the Black Swan, because this is good for the audience. If the Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3959 miles, p, then every horizon distance measurement must be no more than 1.225 times square root of observer's height in feet, q. Not q, therefore not p, because the last oil well is 9.41 miles in the Black Swan, and the horizon is well beyond that. Earth is not a sphere. So when Sam comes on, he is, how can I put it, chained to the 3959. And in geometry, that 3959 radius has Earth curve at 1 foot high observer starting, I mean, no further, not starting, no further than 1.23 miles. On a foggy day, bad weather day, it might be a mile out because that's all you could see. But it can't be any further than 1.23 miles. And yet here's the Black Swan, one that's over 6 miles, oil well, and then another one over 9.41 miles, and the horizon is well beyond that. The problem is it only is a calculation. It's in the math. It's not in reality. And he says you could never see the geometric horizon. They have to say that. They have to say it because we live on a plane.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll realize that it's only in the math. Keep pumping it into them.
Yeah. They used to say it blocked boats and buildings. Now it only exists in the maths. With that, I'll say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord and G Plus panels for making today's live show possible. If you are watching on either Nathan Oakley 1980 premiering streams, then stay tuned as there will be an after show to follow. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
What a lovely day!
Yeah, well, that's silly too. That doesn't work. You can't make it bigger.
No, I know everything's off, but the way you did it was funny.
That's like what's wrong with the people? I don't get it.
But I don't think they realize that when they say the best you could do is that you debunk the radius. Do they think about it first that everything relies on that radius? Like everything you see in the night sky?
What's happened? The biggest problem is that no matter what size they state the radius to be, no matter what distance from whatever viewer height they state the geometric horizon to be, it doesn't matter because the horizon is constantly moving due to weather. So it never stays in any single location. It's not a physical location; it's a visual location. So no matter what they state, they could say it's twice the size, that the globe is twice the size, but it wouldn't matter if they say it's a 7,000 mile radius. It wouldn't make any difference because the horizon is always going to be moving around, which is going to completely disprove it. You know what I mean?
Right, but
I understand that, but everything.
Let me finish. If you can get a 10 mile distance from a 1 foot observation height, how much of a distance can you get from a 7 foot observation height? The point is that the horizon is not a physical location, it's a visual location. And it's even defined as that. The apparent juncture between earth and sky, it's defined that way. So no matter what they say, they're trapped. There is no way out of it. So what they're claiming, but what they're claiming just cannot exist. It's not even that it might exist some other way. It cannot. It's an impossibility.
Right, it's a visual, just like Coriolis. It's a visual.
Interesting. We can measure Coriolis. You're aware of that?
No, you can't. It's a visual effect. How you going to measure it?
Did you come back with your visible geometric fucking
Yeah,
horizon?
we debunked his
or
globe.
what?
Now he's going to
What are you
stuff.
talking about?
Just chocolate and Sam, please.
Interesting. We have measurements of
Yeah,
Coriolis,
when I read
of
that
deviation
citation
of
out to
falling
you,
bodies.
you didn't have a response. You've been very quiet since.
Yeah, he wanted to move on to Coriolis now.
Nah.
And that's why
We're
I
not doing
jumped
that.
in, because I said it. But of course, 10th Man's got issues with me lately.
Jesus.
Oh
Well,
my
but-
gosh! Chocolate had him by the you know what, and he kept running away.
He
and
came
now-
back with Coriolis, though, not
And-
with freaking Earth Curve.
Yeah, put your pride aside and let Chocolate give him one here, please.
I got no pride. I was quiet the whole show listening.
That's an oxymoron.
I would just like to know if Samurai has realized that his geometric horizon is actually visible according to his own side.
The geometric horizon is definitely not visible. I have no clue what National Geographic did though.
Then it's not a horizon.
So, not a horizon then?
Not a visible
So,
one.
welcome to
Visible.
Flat Earth then.
It exists.
Bingo.
So what you're telling us is the thing that
if you say
boats
so.
are supposed to be going behind is not visible. You understand what you're telling us, right?
But we can see it
You
because
think
of
boats
other
are going
variables.
over a curve, right?
You
think boats are going over a
Due
curve?
to other variables, we are not able to see the
Do you
geometric
think boats are
horizon.
going over a curve?
There's still an
Physical
apparent
curve.
horizon. The distance to that point just shifts. It gets more. Or
The
just gets
distance
shorter.
to what point?
No problem with that on
Yeah.
the model.
Did you hear what Chocolate asked you?
I can't
Say
hear
again,
what the-
Chocolate. He said distance to what point? The point that doesn't exist?
To the point at which it is not possible to see behind the curve, basically.
What curve? The geometric horizon? That changes with weather. We don't
I know
have
it changes with weather, temperature, everything.
So it's not a geometric horizon then to block
The
things.
geomet-
So it's not a
the
geometric
apparent, I
horizon.
mean, my bad.
You rumpus in the conclusion, it seems. So it's not a geometric horizon. You say it doesn't exist. The horizon, which isn't Earth curve, changes with the weather. It's not an obstruction to your view with a limitation to your view because it changes with weather. So no.
Did you just say I said it doesn't exist? Because I never said it doesn't exist.
Okay, show me the geometric horizon, please.
We can't see it. I told.
So it doesn't exist, you dumb shit. Don't piss me off. Yeah, you did say it doesn't exist. You also simultaneously said that you can see it and you can't see it because you're stupid.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, I'll trim it out and I'll ram you saying you didn't say it up your ass. You absolutely, most definitely said the geometric horizon can be seen, but you cannot see it. Those were your words verbatim. No! Do you not think this is being recorded? Do you not think I'm going to take, like the other lying piece of shit, Ed, and just trim your words out back to back with you denying it? Be careful. You will be branded a liar. Because you are now. You're denying what you said.
I can say again what my opinion is. My opinion is that we cannot see the geometric horizon.
Then it's not a horizon. It doesn't exist as a horizon. That's the point. But you do need one to get R. So when we point out that the horizon moves with the weather, you tell us that you can't see the geometric horizon. Even though you're telling us that you need it and you can see it, yeah, you've got two simultaneous positions held. It's called cognitive dissonance.
I'm never claiming we can see the geometric horizon, but I'm only claiming it exists. Which part about that didn't you understand?
So if it exists, show it me.
using the word
You can't both exist and not exist at the same time. If it exists, a horizon to demarcation point. Don't fundy mute me. A horizon to demarcation point between the land or sea and sky. That's what a horizon is. So if we have got, and it does exist, a geometric horizon, then it's a demarcation point between the land, sea, and sky. Show it me. If you can't, it's not a horizon.
Sounds like a rumpus episode. We do.
Yeah. You can't both have something and not have something simultaneously, Samurai.
I find it kind of funny that he went completely against what National Geographic said and came up with his own opinion. I mean,
he even said, I don't even care what they say.
Well, he did say it's his opinion.
That's
yeah,
funny.
it's his opinion, but I mean, National Geographic would be kind of after putting supposedly a lot of research into this, but it seems they're wrong. So why can't you not just, Samurai, why can't you not just admit that the National Geographic are wrong and that there is no geometric horizon? Because if there was, we would be able to see it.
If there was, wouldn't it be in the same place all the time?
Well, it would be,
if it was physical and we lived on a ball, it would be in the same place.
It would be obvious. We'd never not see it.
Well, it's a horizon, so it still would be apparent based on your observer height. But it would have physical limitations, and you wouldn't just be able to see 10 times further than it one day because it's a nice day.
Right, that's my point.
Yeah, but when we point that out after
observer height, it would be in the same place all the time.
Yeah, when we point that out after debunking it, though, they suddenly need it to be this ethereal thing that can't be seen but does exist.
Well, maybe he's getting tripped up on the word and we're focused on the wrong thing. See, it can't be apparent and not apparent at the same time.
Yeah, apparently not visible is nonsensical. It violates the law of non-contradiction. Exactly, Paul.
But aren't all horizons apparent?
Maybe he should just define horizon.
A special guest, by the way.
What's a horizon?
Just before we ask him what a horizon is, demarcation point between land, sea, or sky. And sky, sorry. Got Anthony Riley with me.
Hey. Didn't I say that earlier? What the horizon is? Where the sky appears to meet the ground.
Right, so where does the geometric horizon appear to meet the sky?
Like if we had no atmosphere.
Sorry, so it doesn't. Sorry, if we have no if we had no sphere-shaped air that you're assuming. No, number one, we don't have sphere-shaped air. That's an oxymoron. You're assuming sphere-shaped air, and the reason you're assuming sphere-shaped air is because you're going to bend light around it at the rate of 7/6 I've already covered this. So no, we don't have sphere-shaped air, and no, we're not going to be removing sphere-shaped air assumptions from a real world because we don't have sphere-shaped air. So your assumption of sphere-shaped air isn't a justification for why we don't have this horizon that used to block boats and buildings and have physical limitations. So we don't have it.
That was just laid out beautiful for you, Samurai. If you can't understand, then you're hopeless, buddy. Nathan just covered everything in 10 seconds.
How would you determine the refractive index of a column of air that long as well?
We wouldn't. He said atmosphere. And the rate of refraction in atmosphere is called terrestrial refraction. If you have atmo, that's air, sphere, from the presupposition that air violates the second law of thermodynamics and takes the shape of a sphere, not expanding into a vacuum, then you are using terrestrial refraction. That's what refraction in atmosphere is. You don't have to like it, especially when I point out that we've debunked the R in terrestrial refraction because it's based on a geometric horizon. Maybe you can ask me about refractive effects in the atmosphere when that's terrestrial refraction. Based on R, debunked by the Black Swan.
Wait, it's based on the geometric horizon that this guy just told us we don't ever see, can't see, because we have an atmosphere. That one?
Yeah, we haven't got a response from Sam, though. I've pointed out that he said, well, the horizon's being moved because the atmosphere is there, and if it wasn't there, well, my response, we don't have sphere-shaped air. Sam?
I'm done with this topic. Honestly, I can't talk to you.
You mean you've been annihilated?
Yes.
We don't have sphere-shaped air. Sorry, you mean when I defeated your rebuttal that the reason we can't see the geometric horizon is because we have sphere-shaped air in the way, which will be utilising terrestrial refraction at 7/6 also debunked earlier in the conversation. So when that's annihilated, that we don't have this oxymoron of a presupposition of sphere-shaped air, you give up, you complete coward, you mean you've lost.
Yeah, he just tapped out.
Yeah, I think Sam is acting like he's indifferent to the whole thing, but the truth is that he doesn't have an argument. Sam, you have to be able to see something to be able to measure it. If you can't see something, you can't measure it. I can't measure a piece of wood that I don't have.
Well, when Nathan broke that all down, I was starting to see it like how a baller would see it, and maybe the penny's dropping a little bit. You think?
No, because
no, absolutely not.
No, because they love their sphere so much, but the only way they could have their sphere is for Al-Biruni and others like him to have seen the geometric horizons in order to get the radius of 3959. But if you can never see it, like Sam said, then how did you ever get the radius of 3959?
The two main ways that go on, talk. Sorry, go after.
The penny can't drop. There's a gumball in the way.
The size of Earth, right?
Very quickly before chocolate comes in, the two ways they have claimed throughout the centuries that this radius value was measured was Al-Biruni, who couldn't see the geometric horizon because the horizon is a physical location, a visual location, a non-physical apparent location, and not a physical location, and Eratosthenes, who had to pre-assume, right, based on a calculation made on a sun that's based off of a radius, pre-assume that sun rays are parallel. So they have a geometric horizon they can't see, and that the pre-assumption the sun rays are parallel. Yet we can't see this geometric horizon, so how can you measure to it? And sun rays are always diverging. So I don't know where they're going to go.
This is like a broken record. Can we check out the thing that turned Ranty? And somebody was saying that Ranty didn't actually turn. I believe his name is Chris Berry. Can we do this? Or do you want to just keep beating this?
No, God.
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, why not? There's no geometric horizon. It's dead anyway.
Really? So I'm going to post this video into the chat there. And then whoever has the power to bring it up and share the screen and show it.
That would be He-Man.
It's in the live stream.
Who is this? Harp? Harp speaking?
Yeah, what's up, Chocolate?
Yo, what's up, brother? I got you.
I have a question to whoever wants to answer it. Say we were to go ascertaining roughly what the nature or shape or I wouldn't even say shape. I would say we went about trying to determine, the extent of this realm. Do you think it would be that hard to do for an individual? Like for an individual to do his own mapping on a large scale?
How much money you got?
Yeah, money would be the first problem.
I don't even think money is an issue.
What are you talking about? You guys travel.
We need a lot of
the
resources.
country.
Right.
Because there's different methods you can use for mapping. It doesn't necessarily have to be, a big plane in the sky with a giant camera.
It's very possible that this is a diversion. Why are you doing this? Why are you bringing this up now that we want to take a look at this stuff that turned Randy?
Sorry.
Last time I brought it up, it got diverted too. Samurai came in and started his shit.
All right, go.
Keeps
Sorry
getting
for
diverted.
Is there a particular part of the video you want?
Yeah, do you see it? The one that says famous flat earther declares the earth is a globe.
So Harp, do you want to watch the video first, or do you want me to give my take first?
No, I want. Who's that?
It's Chris.
That's Chris.
You said.
What's up, Chris?
What's up, guys?
Oh, now he's famous. But we ain't shit. We ain't nothing when we're flat
Exactly.
earthers.
Ranty, the famous flat earther.
Get the fuck
Yeah, he's famous.
Famous grifter.
Basically, you're not going to want to watch the whole video. I mean, it's over an hour long. You just want to.
All you have to show is
take a look at
photographs. I have it shows photographs. You want me to share it?
Yeah,
Just
go
share
ahead,
the
William, share that.
screen. Okay. I'm going to present now then.
Now, where are you
Nathan?
presenting? I have no idea.
Oh, you're going to need it on
Nah,
to.
if you're in Discord, you won't be able to see it right now.
Right,
But
maybe
you've
for me.
already seen the video, so this is for the audience mostly.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
1 second.
Well, I know what you're looking at.
So here I am looking at it now, looking at the observation. The camera height of the observer is lower than the land in front of him or her or whoever it was. And the mountains are then way back in the background. So what you have is visual occultation happening here, because the higher land in front of the observer is occulting the angle of view to the mountains at the back. I'm just going to, 1 second now, just going to show this again for the audience's benefit. Now, the object in front of the camera is higher than the camera height. So consequently, when I move back the other jar, it occults the other jar. And I'm going to move that little pepper thing now, and you'll see the other jar. And I'm going to move now the tea jar back in. It's just a visual occultation. It's known, photographers know about this. There's nothing special about it. It's a well-known effect. No, I don't see, and I've shared this with Ranty, and he didn't want to hear about it.
Yeah, but that's the whole thing. Brian Ranty knows this.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I heard him arguing against ballers.
Yeah, I know. Well, I don't think I detailed this effect on his show 3.5 years ago. So he should know it. I don't know what's going on. So I stopped presenting.
I can provide us
Going undercover, it's just another attention stunt. Look, everybody's talking about it all day long.
I think
Success. He succeeded.
With the drama.
We're all talking about it.
I think all
okay, can I hear Chris Berry's take on this?
Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Because this is all new to me.
Yeah, so it's new to me too, but because this just happened a couple of days ago, so I think it's new for everyone. So if you just give me a couple of minutes, I'll sort of give my take and I'll give what happened, a little bit of research I did, and then my theory. Okay. So a few days ago, I'm listening. I don't know to whose show it was, Nathan's or Jose's or whoever, and I hear Ranty has come out and said he's back to the ball. So, okay, that doesn't sound right. So I do some research. I find this video, the one that Harp just posted, and I watch it. And I do hear Ranty say that he does say he's back to the globe. Now, the weird thing is, if you listen to his whole speech, it's very odd. Like, he's really beating around the bush. He's saying, well, because Bev said so, because Bev said it's a white swan, and Bev is saying these things, then I can't disagree with Bev. And they're calling it the white swan. So I'm like, God, it's really strange. Okay, so like 2 days later, so this is Saturday, I'm listening to one of Brandon's shows from, I think it was Thursday or Friday even. So it wasn't, again, this is all within the last 3 or 4 days total, right? So you have to keep that in mind. So I hear that from Ranty. I'm listening to Brandon's show. Randomly, Ranty gets on Brandon's show and he interrupts the show. Now, this is like Thursday or Friday of last week, a couple days ago. Ranty asked he interrupts and he says, hey, can I take a poll? He says, I want to ask everyone if you're a flat earther, a globe earther, and if you believe in terrestrial refraction. So he goes around the group and I heard echo, and they all give their answer. Somewhat Brandon goes, Ranty, you didn't answer. What's your answer? Okay. Ranty goes, and I quote, I am a flat earther, and Mick West made up terrestrial refraction, end quote. This is 3 days ago. Okay. So I'm like, what is going on? He didn't, 3 days ago, wasn't a flat earther saying Mick West made up terrestrial refraction. And then the very next day come out and say this picture has converted him to a glober. So I'm trying to put it all put it all together, and it's just not making sense. So
he also used the word trust as far as Bev is concerned. He literally said, "I trust Bev."
Right. See, it was all. Hold on, I got a little bit more, and then you guys can chime in. So, correct. And again, if you watch the video, if you listen to him talk, it's very strange. Just the way it all seems manipulated, right? Like it all seems set up. So, I go on Skype, and I'm like, just like everyone, I'm sort of confused, and so I message him privately, and I tell him things like, I don't believe this. I said, there's no way that you're using this one photo because they're claiming this one photo is the proof of a globe, and he's gone back to the globe. I said, how can that be? I said, you're throwing out 5 years of counter evidence. No response. I sent him a picture, actually from Brian's logic video of the J. Tolan Mountain, showing 2 different heights, depending on the day, even though it's at pretty much the same location and distance. No response. I said, okay, now I'm more confused. And I tell him what I just told you all. I said, 2 days ago, you said you are a flat earther and that terrestrial refraction is nonsense made up by Mick West. Are you trolling? He finally responded this morning, and here's all he said. Terrestrial refraction is nonsense that I hope to disprove with the new theory. Okay, so that to me is very telling. He's still saying terrestrial refraction is nonsense, yet if you're a glober, you have to have terrestrial refraction to lift up your curve and to present it flat. So why would he still say terrestrial refraction is nonsense if he's a glober? You can't, those two things aren't compatible. And not only that, notice he doesn't answer my specific question. A, are you a glober? And B, are you trolling? He doesn't answer those. So here's my theory based on all that I just said. My theory is, for some reason, I don't know why, he doesn't like the black swan argument. Maybe he doesn't like that we're putting all of our eggs in one basket. I'm not sure. He, for some reason, has come out and said, I'm using this white swan photo that purports to show massive drop as my globe proof evidence. This one photo, I'm back to being a glober, and they're specifically calling it the white swan photo. So that's my theory. I do think that he's not a glober. I think that he's taking the piss out of the black swan for whatever reason.
He did that. He said, it's not fair that the flat earth has the black swan, so this is what I'm doing. And he literally used that photograph and called it the white swan. I don't know what he has against the black swan, but
But that's the
Just
funny
makes no
part.
sense.
I mean, he mentioned that it was a white swan, so I'm like, pretty much all swans are white, right?
Well, either
What the
he
fuck?
doesn't understand the Karl Popper analogy in the first instance. If your claim is that all swans are white, then you only need to show one black swan to disprove the assertion that they're all white. Now, if you understood the Karl Popper analogy, you wouldn't then say, well, here's a white swan, because it demonstrates you don't understand the analogy.
And not only
That's what
that,
I'm saying,
that's
like,
not really a
how
white
does this
swan.
negate the
That's
black
more
swan?
of a black
It makes
swan.
no
I don't know. I'm all confused.
Well,
That's
I
the
think
thing, though. I mean,
it's possible.
I know Ranty
One
understands that analogy, though.
See, this comes into play where I talk about all these people who are being controlled. There are a lot of people in this movement, whatever you want to call it, that are absolutely being controlled and using disinformation just to spoil a whole lot of great truth with one drop of acid. You know what I mean?
Right. As in LSD. That's right.
For the past 5 years. Why wasn't I allowed to finish that? Whatever. My take is that there's a lot of controlled opposition, and people reach out and offer money, just like happens in the world, and this is no different. So they want to take this guy. He's been in it for 5 years. I haven't listened to a word this dude has said. As soon as he started fear-mongering in February 2020, I wrote him off, made a video about him, and wrote him off.
This is an outrage. Smash the super chat.
Well, it's good for the super chat, but it's not much of an outrage. It's just reality. Like, there's truth, and then there's the world moving on to tell the stories that it will tell. Who cares about that? I mean, it's very simple. It's not about the black swan. It's not about us using one example, because the reality is, people are supposed to be educated in what they think is going on, and what they think is going on is that the horizon is causing things to disappear bottom up. But in order to make that definitive claim, they had to have gotten it from somewhere, or it had to be true somewhere in reality. And so that will never be true in reality.
Nathan,
And as beautifully told by somebody on the globe side today, has come in and told us very, very humbly how we don't see the geometric horizon. So how are you going back when the very people that purport this nonsense exists tell us it doesn't? And then somebody who knows it doesn't is going to go back to it? It just makes no sense to me.
Nathan, how do you say
It seems
that
to
the
me. It
globe
seems
is
to
an
me. It seems to me
astronomical
like a
plane?
publicity stunt that he's going to try and get an influx of globers now because he supposedly went back.
Perfect segue. So hold on, Neil. Sorry, I will come back to you. Anthony Riley's with me, as I tried to introduce him earlier, but I'm sure he's got something to say on exactly that.
So we all know that Ranty's spent the last 3, 4, 5 years arguing against this type of evidence. Let's just do a quick thinking process, right? We've heard Ranty argue many times about what the causes of the apparent atmospheric compression. I think he calls it compression. And we know that when there's the top of the mountain at 2,000 feet high, we know that light ray that's coming into the camera is coming down into a more dense medium. We know that that's going to cause an element of curving. We also know that the atmospheric refraction is basically it varies from point to point to point. We also know that it's not really calculable because it varies from point to point to point. And we also know that if you look at the Skunk Bay footage, you can pick the worst frame to make it look like a ball. You can pick the worst frame to make it look like a flat Earth, and you can probably even pick a frame to make it look concave. But over the period of time, over the day or a few hours or whatever, it's all over the place. Now, you know, and I know, and everyone knows that Ranty's been arguing these points for years. Are you telling me that honestly Ranty really thinks that all the factors that go into the horizon and the stuff we see at the horizon on that one picture or two pictures at two periods in time all of a sudden are the only evidence that's out there to support globe? Ranty absolutely knows that it's not a sphere, and he knows that that evidence is cherry picked, but he's just trolling ball earthers. It's obvious.
Yeah, he probably hired a new PR.
That's the thing. Let him live.
guys.
Here's the thing. Like, you think you can control what people do because of the truth. Perhaps he doesn't want to spend 5 years building a channel that's never going to grow because the name on it is, a bit abrasive to the normal. Well, not normal, but the average person. Like maybe that was a decision he had to make, and you as his friends or the people who have come to this place and have admired his work are like poo-pooing on his actual life because you have no idea why he's doing what he's doing.
So check this out. I'm just reading this. Terrestrial refraction is nonsense that I hope to disprove with a new theory. Read that. Terrestrial refraction is nonsense that I hope to disprove with a new theory. That does not mean he's a flat earther.
The other thing to bear in mind,
He's whatever he.
Hang on.
The other thing to bear in mind is obviously with regards to Ruhif just happens to be involved in this again. Now, at the end of the day, they always need somebody to jump ship. They always need a ship jumper. Is it beyond the realms of imagination to think of the possibility that perhaps Ranty's got a sweetener to pretend that he's jumping ship just to make it look that way? I mean, I'm not going to say it's definitely the case, but it's definitely possible, right?
He'll climb back on the ship whenever he feels like it because he doesn't give a shit. He's done this sort of stuff before just to play with our feelings and sow confusion to satisfy his own urges. Okay? And now we're talking about it for 2 days straight. Everybody's talking about it for 2 days straight. Are you seeing this?
Well, that's what Arwin, that's what I thought Anthony was going to say when I handed the mic to him, because exactly, when he got here and we were chatting while you guys were debating with Samurai, he's like, well, what a great publicity ploy. You know, if you're not getting a great deal of exposure and you suddenly move sides, yeah, that'll bring a great deal of publicity, but what cost? suddenly your credibility's out the window. You can't. No one on either side can believe a word he says.
Well, I'll tell you something that'll be interesting. Watch for Bob Nodell's reaction, because that makes his friendship relationship with Bob Nodell untenable, because Bob's not going to be able to support that. So you'll not be seeing Bob Nodell in Ranty's chat anymore.
Well, okay.
I don't know about that.
Sure about that.
It's Brandon, so you see him in Brandon's.
I wouldn't be too sure about that. You know,
That's-
technical
I agree,
arguments have
absolutely.
never been
Hold on.
important
Go on,
to
Owen.
any kind
Ah,
of
can I just hear
management
Owen?
of your circles.
Start again, Owen. Go ahead.
Right? Yeah, right. So technical content has never been a priority as to who's being picked as friends and who is allowed to speak, right? It's not about that with Bob. He doesn't give a shit what people believe. He only cares that you don't criticize him and that you bet, right? And Ranty knows that. Ranty can play him just like that. So Bob doesn't give a shit what Ranty thinks or on what perceived side he's supposed to be, because he knows that Ranty's a grifter and he can pick whatever side he wants as long as he doesn't criticize him.
Nathan, you say.
If everyone
Go ahead,
went-
Brian. Go ahead.
Sorry, right, I have to say this, right, because this is getting ridiculous. Sorry, Neil. Right, if everybody here and everyone else in the world today went back to believing that we're on a globe, it doesn't matter, because it doesn't mean we're on a globe. It means we believe it. There is no evidence for a globe. We're not on a globe, so it doesn't matter how many people believe it. It's wrong. End of story.
My point, Nathan. What do you say? The globe is an astronomical claim, and it needs astronomical evidence. How do you say it?
No, not astronomical. It's the extraordinary claim.
Okay, so then it needs to be backed, right?
Well, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. That's what you're fishing for, I assume.
Right, and I haven't seen any with this photo
Right.
or video.
If you're going to claim
of Ranty.
the horizon's a geometric sphere edge, that's an extraordinary claim. You don't then back it up by saying, well, the reason we don't see it, the reason it's invisible and doesn't exist is because, it's like, well, that's not extremely good evidence to back your extraordinary claim. That's a justification for why you can't back your claim, right?
Exactly.
Perfect. Anyone did you want to add something else, Neil? Not Neil, Brian or 10th, go ahead, whoever.
Yeah, I'd like to. So Sam came on, basically said the geometric horizon is purely theoretical construct, not anything I have ever seen or anyone could ever see. So guess what, Sam? You just got a thought experiment there, don't you now? It's not a real measurement of any type. It just exists in the math, Sam. Therefore, enjoy your numerical globe.
With that, I'm going to say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord and G+ panels for making today's after show possible. And of course, a massive thank you to all of you in either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley premiering streams for hopefully smashing the super chat, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and all that good stuff. Also, below this video, you can get £50 for swapping your UK electricity supplier to Octopus Energy. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
What a lovely day!